Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel today. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. I can't believe I recorded the whole full reaction video, and apparently it did not record. So I'm going to have to start the process again. Like I never knew that once you are using your boards, right, which is the free boards I told you guys about, that it doesn't record the background, the output. So I'm pinned right now, but I have to record thing again. So um so this is for people that for someone on this channel asking for worship approach to worship. So I wanted to just do like a reaction video to one of the greats. This is Walt Lundy, right? And he approached worship the way like like the basic way possible in that sense. So he added some fancy things. He's a pro drummer, he's a professional drummer, so he added some fancy things. But this is the simplest way that you can approach worship as a beginner, right? Just like not even a beginner, everybody does this. Depends on how the music is going. As one of my drummers, one of my friends, is above me, above us in drumming. He says something about you know music is or playing is music basically all about your approach towards the song. He mentions that word, underline the word approach. You know, he mentions approach. Approach is just basically everything. You can have two drummers play a particular song, right? But the approach will be different. Doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad drummer or anything like that. It just only just signifies that his understanding, his enlightening is different. His orientation, because like we grow up differently, we learned how to play drums differently, so our approach will be different, right? So but this is like the basic way, that you can approach worship. I'll still do a tutorial, right? I've not just had the time, to do the tutorial. I will do a tutorial, basically what you need, to start playing worship, basically like the basics, right? So if you guys haven't gotten this free or I'm free pause, you guys should go get it. Um please, you guys need to add it to your repertoire. Basis on this channel, drummers, exactly, you need this. Like I said, the Apple AirPods are very expensive. I was in 100k, 100,000 naira, you know but budget friendly. This one is very good. Like you get the bass, you get the punchy bass. Then there's this thing they call ENG. That's the environmental noise cancellation kind of thing, whereby basically just like you know when I have it in my ear, I always hear this noise, kind of like as if it's extracting the background noise from where you are, and it gives you a very, very, very good output. Like it filters the noise in that kind of thing. So I'm talking too much. I'll also have a link in the description below, if you guys can purchase it. So let's get right to the video. And yeah, so this is Fred Hammond, You Are the Living Word. I want to mention it. Let's go. All right, so as you can see now, the first pattern, as you can see, is dun, tsk, tsk. Let me go back in so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So you can see it, triple strokes. So now the triple strokes all of you ran away from is what you are going to go back to. So the triple strokes, no, one of the rhythm I don't really like so much is triple strokes. I don't really like. I do for a very reason. Maybe it doesn't make me. I'm always fast when I do it, and it is like you're having three strokes in your hand. You are doing three things per hand, so it's hardly going to make you fast. Aside from the grades that they've done it to the point whereby they do it. If you watch some videos on YouTube, those guys, they do triple strokes for you guys, are very fast. So triple stroke you ran away from, is what you come back to. So that's the idea. So if I give you another song, Jehovah, we praise you, we praise your name, we praise your name, Jehovah, we praise you. One, two, three. So as you can see, it's three. So it's kind of like your hi-hat should be your seasoning. This part of the world we call it curry, we call it condiment, it has to be that seasoning. It's like something that makes the audience go crazy. So you don't want to joke with your hi-hat. And you guys should get a good pair of hi-hat, you should get a good pair, not a hi-hat that sounds like paper. Get a good hi-hat, a hi-hat that wants you, it's crisp. That's the idea. You don't want to get hi-hat that sounds like paper. If I know this part of the world, Nigeria, at least some of the churches that are around here, not the top churches, like basically churches that are intermediate, they might want to be very cheap about their symbols and all, and understand, go and meet whoever is in charge and tell them you want a change in symbols. It's their approach, just go and meet them that they should buy you a new set of symbols, because if you want your plane to go to the next level, you need to use good equipment. There's not And if you can invest in yourself, I highly recommend you do invest. Please don't use crappy equipment, to play, especially for church. If it is for rehearsals, that's a different case. But if your church can afford it, go meet the admin, tell them they should help you change those symbols, because you really need it for your growth. For me, my own motto: if you use original hardware, you play original things. So let's continue. uh for the guys that are over the US, you guys don't really have any problem. So this was guys in this part of the world. So yeah, let's watch. You can see now, sorry about that. You can do dun, tss, dun, ka, dun, dun, tss. There was a rest, there was a break. Like I said, all of your hi-hat, all of your things that happen here is mostly hi-hat work. So you have to learn how to open and close your hi-hat as to when due. Don't just open the hi-hat anyhow. You know, your hi-hat, you should not joke with it. And I'm still emphasizing, get a very good pair of hi-hat. It doesn't have to be expensive, but when you go to the market, check the metal, hit it, because it's what you hear that will determine your output, right? Or is that correct? I don't even know. So yeah, and one thing I like about that is the hi-hat is doing is this, this digging in sound, this punchy nice sound, like rest. Just let's continue. Sorry. You guys hear? You can see the video says it all. All the thing he was playing was mostly triple stroke. Then he was adding other extra things. Then so it's there. It just depends on how the way you approach the triple stroke was just a whole lot different. You can subdivide it if you want. Once you add the triple stroke, you can. So that means this is your hand. It's not even the only triple stroke is even adding. As in, there's this rudiments that you can do whereby I'm not on my stick, I'll show you guys. You just Secrets from the Pros by Thomas Pridgen. There was a video that he did, right? Whereby it's mostly finger technique. You play three per hand, three per hand, three per hand. Like you keep adding more fingers, right? To make when your hands are complete, your fingers have to be strong, because this is more or less like finger technique. It's not should I use the word molar, whereby you just stick like this finger, because it gives you that fast vibe. And one thing I also forgot to mention is this thing needs speed. So you have to rehearse, as time goes on this channel, I'll be sharing some rudiments. Sorry about that. That you guys are going to rehearse, that will give you results like this. Because people want to play things like this, but they're not ready to do rehearsal. You have to be ready to do the rehearsals. Talking about hours, it's not the rehearsal you do today and say you're not doing tomorrow. You have to do it every day, even if you don't feel like it. That's how you get this. You have to pay the price. Right? So let's continue. Another thing I also want to add is that you can see the simple feels is coming in with. You don't want to do anything really crazy when you are in a worship session like this. Most of the times it's mostly cymbal work. Ting, ting, ting. Like I said, if you watch my previous video, which is what I talk about in worship, you have to, when you start your worship, you tease everywhere first. The bells, the cymbals are not there for fancy. They're not only to there to just be hitting it. You have to make use of it, and you need to dig into the sound. You need to breathe the ting 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 like that. It's kind of like worship. You have to put the minds of sorry about that. You need to put the minds of the congregation at ease. Like make them calm down. Cymbals can actually be a very good therapy. If you use it well. You understand? And that's why the more reason why I said go and meet your church admin and tell them to get you new pairs of cymbals. Right? Go and meet them. You can say, good afternoon, sir. Um, I don't really like the sound I'm hearing from the cymbals. I really like new pair of cymbals. If they give you attitude, you tell them that you keep hammering on it. Tell them to change the cymbal. We are in an era whereby we shouldn't be using crappy cymbals to play. It's not just allowed, it's not even acceptable. Because I know things are a whole lot different now. We like as to where I'm from, things are expensive, but like they say, if you want a very good soup, you have to be ready to spend money. Nothing goes for free these days. So if possible, if they can import the cymbals, they should do by all means, because it's for the growth of the church and for your growth as well. There are actually stores you can get around that will actually give you quality cymbals. And make sure you hit it to know. Yes, and hit it. Don't just buy it like that. Hit it because it's fake actually. And it doesn't even have to be original. Just make sure you check the metal. Like I said, the metal is very important. You know, and you can see what Lundy is doing. You can even get the one that's still okay around here, wherever you live. So yeah, let's continue. Right, from the second part, as you can see, when you start playing, the first part is you tease everywhere just to get them interested in the track. And the second part is you start with a cross stick, and that leads me to how your snare is tuned. Right, you need to get a properly tuned snare. Don't use a snare that is tuned like nylon. you know don't use a nylon snare. you know and you want to I highly recommend for things like this. I never really saw the importance of a metal snare, right? I never really saw the importance. If you can get a metal snare, please do. Please, because if you want to get a very good sound, you need to get a metal snare, because that's basically what it is. Then if you're having trouble tuning your snare, there are tons of videos on YouTube you can watch, right? I'm still figuring out this thing myself, because that snare repurposing video I did. If you haven't watched it, you can check out my channel. I did a repurposing video, right? I've not done the video where I'll show you guys how it sounds, but it's not that bad. It's okay. It still gives me that sound, right? you know um you just want to just get the very very good snare. And if you're having issues getting that kind of sound, one of the tricks I learned about snare tuning is that you want to tune the batter head, right? That's the back side. Tune it. You want to crank it up. You want to crank it up really well, but don't just crank one up like to the point where it's very tight. You want to make them even. If you want to do 5 tones for one side, do 5 tones for one side, do 5 tones for one side, do 5 tones for the other side. Make sure they are even. Some people use drum dial. I don't have a drum dial. Maybe in the future I'll probably get one to get everything, because it's when the logs are tuned well. Because if the back side is not tuned well, it will have an effect on the front, because it's what you hit. The feedback you get from the bottom is what you get. If you don't get if the back doesn't give you a good feedback, the front will give you a very dead sound. So same goes for your thumb too. You want to tighten the thumb well, because even floor thumb too, is the downside. Once you hit it, the feedback you get from the bottom is what will pop up at the bottom. Sorry, pop up at the top, right? So let's continue. So like I said, first one, then followed by a fat. The second one, you now followed by a fat accent on the snare. You don't want to start with accents first. Once you are playing in worship like this, you want to start with cross stick first. It has to be very calm. As Lionel Lewis will see, in this kind of atmosphere, we have not really gotten there. I'll tell you that part. Just hold up a second. right, this is one more thing I want to add, which is your double kick. Yeah, so for you to be able to do something like this, your double kick has to be solid. You have to go and do double kick workout. You need to work out that leg because your double kick has to be solid. It has to be solid because, and someone once told me one thing, it's a beauty if you can double kick properly and very, very, really very fast because you don't really have problem with this if you can actually double kick. And not just only knowing how to double kick, knowing how to have independence because as a beginner or someone that is playing sometimes, once you are playing, your right hand wants to do what your left hand leg is doing. So you have to have independence. Independence is key in things like this. We call it separation in that sense. So you have to be able to have separation, be able to play these things individually without even having to think about it. And which is one thing I like about what Walt Lundy is doing. Is nonchalance is just everything. That's the idea. You want people to think that it's effortless. But whereas they don't know what you are doing your rehearsal time. That's the idea. And once you are playing, my friend told me something that was yesterday. He said, once you want to play, don't think about it too much. Just be at ease. Don't be tensed. Don't be I don't have anything I'm going to play like this. So what am I going to do in this next verse? Don't be overthinking it. Just let it flow. You know. Like I used to be back in the day. I play my worship then back in the day well. I had the guy that even came. I used to do this. Should I use the word back when I was in Polytechnic, right? There's this morning prayer we do, and they used to have drums. So someone said that he came downstairs, he liked the way I played. When it comes to praise like this, I'll start playing rubbish. We will be like, this is this guy that just played worship right now. What are we hearing? Alright? And with time I worked on myself and my worship got better. So don't be always be tense. Anytime it gets to the praise, I'll start becoming tense. I will not know what to play now. I'll just mess the whole thing up. Right? And that's just it. So let's keep watching. This is the part I wanted to get to. So that one to this. I'm sure you guys must have seen me do that a lot if you watch my videos. Right? Then this is the part I want to say that people will rise and fall in dynamics. That's why I said you need to get sorry about that. You need to get a very good cymbal, because it's like you need to ride. Once you're riding that cymbal, people will rise and fall in dynamics. You don't need to be doing too much in worship like this because it's a very calm atmosphere. You don't want to come with anything too noisy. One of the things my keyboardist told me was that he doesn't like when drummers play too many fills in worship setting like this. You can only play too many fills like this and be aggressive with your fills if it is soft rock. You can play all those things if it is actually a very rock track. But if it is an atmosphere like this, you need to calm down. Just your thumbs, tom. Don't do too much. And two thumbs I don't joke with. If you come and play on my kit and you start fiddling with this thing, is my high thumb, which is my power thumb, and my floor thumb. I had to hear tom, like that stuff that will take you to another dimension. Then my floor thumb, boom. Like it has to be like, it has to be. I won't say it should be dead in that sense, but once you hit it, give you that feedback. That is something here. I don't joke with those two thumbs. If you play with my two thumbs, we are going to have a discussion. We'll have a discussion. I had someone in my church that was tuning. It turned my floor thumb. I was like, what is this? When I was about to play, I was not hearing boom. I was like, what is this? What is this? What am I hearing? I had to lose the whole thing and do it again. I don't like it because I guess I had not gotten the floor thumb at that particular time. When I got there, I was like, and it's very deadly once you are playing praise or playing worship and you are hearing something else. Even the bass, when it's playing, then it hits far. I'm like, what is this? What is this? That kind of vibe. So, yeah. Yes. Sorry. about this, also one thing I want to add to this thing is that once you are playing, you know, you can add a kick and a snare under your cross stick. How do I mean by this? Okay, so um oh, hail the power of Jesus' name. Let angels prostrate fall. Then bring forth ding, ding, bang, ding, ding. So that when you're hitting that is like you're hitting it together with the with the bass. So it gives this kind of dead sound. It gives this kind of punchy vibe, this kind of holistic perspective in that sense. You know that somebody's here. You know it makes it fat. So you won't only play cross stick. You should make it a habit. I won't worry. I'll do a tutorial about what I'm talking about. I just pray I remember all these things, during the course of the video. When I have time, I'll do a video for this worship setting because this is something that people don't teach. I've not seen anybody teaching it. Everybody just plays praise and worship. I've never seen anybody do this tutorial before, and I really love it. And too bad people say you just develop it, so I don't know. Yeah. You can see how the hierarchy is singing. All right, as you can see, thank you thank you for watching this ad. So thank you for watching the video. You know as always, like I've said, I'll do a tutorial talking about all these things. So this is just for beginners that are looking to approach worship the simplest way possible. I just decided to just break down the parts. you know um when I have time, I'll do a tutorial for you guys, actually showing you how to do it. you know don't shy away from the basics. Basics is very important. Even to today, I still learn the basics. I'm still on the basics because it's the fundamentals that will propel you into playing advanced things. Right? People don't just get there. The likes of Marcus Azan, the likes of Tony Rosta, the likes of I don't know. There's so many drummers, Cobos, Lionel Louise, Jared Falk, you name them, right? They didn't just get there. They went in a ladder of progression. They went same as when you play bass, right? That's why it's called a progression. You don't just when you are playing, sometimes you go from do to far, or far to so, far to far. You can't just go from do to so like that because it's a progression, one progression leading to another, right? So, and you have to be patient with yourself. Mm. These things take time. I know I'm not there yet myself, but I'm just this channel just to help people. I'm going, I explain what I'm learning. So like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to get yourself, copy yourself some of these earbuds. This Orion earbuds. You really need it. I know it's quite expensive, but some people, you can save up for it, right? Like I did mine. I saved up for mine. I didn't just buy it in one day. I saved up the money and I got it because I knew I needed it for some. There was a particular track I listened to. It was when I used this free, but I had those parts, and that's what you need. You don't want to be using a fake earpiece that you just cut and throw away because you else just wasting money. So that's it about that. I think I'll upload a video I recorded yesterday, so for you guys to just yeah, I just need to do some editing. So yeah, bye bye for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.